Hello PTG fans, Proxy Table Gaming. We have a special guest with us. I am Hyper G. Welcome, Matt Champion. How are you?
I'm alright, thanks Steph. Thank you for having me.
Great, thank you for being here. So yeah, special guest in today as Lucky Sixes was otherwise engaged, but I tell you what, it's an upgrade as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, I was going to say it's the B team.
Not at all. It's the super sub, I would say. I would definitely say. And you're joining me for a battle report, of course, which is going to be on Warhol. So all the bells and whistles out for this one. You've had a little bit of a taste of Warhol, haven't you?
I have, yeah. I loved it. A couple of battles.
Yeah, I mean, one of which you trounced me in, didn't you? And that went on the channel a few weeks ago. So
yeah, which was all I needed to enjoy Warhol, but it was trouncing.
Absolutely, it was. Yeah, definitely. This is a continuation of our team, of mine and Tom's team event, the No I in Team. And this is round 4, where we're doing okay. We had an average win in round 1, a big loss in round 2, and a small loss in round 3. So it's all right, and our team name was not coming last, so the objective was very much to not come last, and we're not last at the moment, so this was very much a sort of low mid-table sort of area that we were in.
Yeah, that's all right. Okay with that.
And of course, with not coming last, the team name, that was the team that you joined with us last time we played a team event, wasn't it? You joined up with us.
It was, yeah. I was a last minute addition, I think, wasn't I?
Yeah. You represented the ninjas, sort of.
Yeah.
There was actually
playing ID.
Yes, you did. Yeah. There was actually talk of a ninja team entering this event, wasn't there? But it didn't quite come to pass. Is that right?
Yeah, I think a couple of us were quite keen, but then I think just diary scheduling and and maybe a bit of
quite commitment,
burnout as well.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, and we are at the stage now where we're so close to tabletop battling again, but we're sort of hanging by a thread, aren't we? Hoping that that's the way it's going to go. So
yeah.
But anyway, this is round 4 of this event. Where, like I say, looking to push on to stay above the bottom. I took on the vampires for this battle, which is my 3rd one out of the 4 that we've played. Just for availability wise, really, not because Tom didn't fancy it. And our opponent for this one is Deej, who, very nice chap indeed. Haven't really spoken to a lot when we've been in the same room at Art of War, but nonetheless comes with a very friendly reputation, and very much looking forward to this. I have to say right from the off, though, that it was refused flank and breakthrough, should mention, as you see on the screen. I was petrified of Deej's ID list, and I will show you why. First of all, here is the vampire list, which obviously you are familiar with because they are the last 3 rounds worth, hasn't changed. Very much focusing on the vampire knights, the 2 blocks of those, one with a vampire courtier, and the courtier on the Court of the Damned with the ghouls as the middle brick of ghouls. Basically, I mean, you semi-play vampires a little bit. You say a little bit, but I know you've played a good few battles, Matty. What do you think of this list generally, as we've got you on for your opinion?
Yeah, I mean, the game. I love Court of the Damned. It's my favourite entry in the book by a country mile. Yeah, the core's pretty similar to what I tend to run. Dark Coach is cool. Vampire Knights, I really like them. I've just not had any success with them myself.
Sure. Yeah.
I do think they're a good unit. So yeah, I think it's cool. The cowboy is, well, I don't know if he's meant to be a cowboy, but the mounted courtier is something that I'd have no experience with running characters like that. I know it's kind of very much Tom's style, but
yes, absolutely, yeah. Although this guy is certainly much a support rather than Killy and Killius, as he calls them from his vampire list.
He goes in the small vampire knight unit, presumably.
That's right, yeah. He does generally, yeah. But yeah,
I think it's cool.
The reason I was petrified of the ID list And I've kind of got our pictures over the word pyromancy because it won't matter, because he was the prophet of Lugar, which means he could pretty much choose between alchemy and pyromancy. But against me, it's going to be alchemy to try and clear my vampire knights, and that alone scares the heck out of me. And also you've got the 2 internal artillery Titan mortars, which can just drop my ghouls so quickly.
I have to say, when I play ID, I never leave home without 2 Titan mortars, because I think they are fantastic.
Absolutely.
Strength 8.
Yes.
And then you've got the big hit. That's the big hit, and then you've got the actual catapult shot, which is, I think, strength 4 AP.
I think so. Yeah.
So it's just crazy. And has he got Kadim blessed on them, or was that my imagination?
I don't know. I mean, I should say that this is the version of the ID book that went out on 1st of March, the 1st March version. So I know it has changed at least twice since this battle happened.
I might be in the wrong edition there.
Yeah, I think you may well be. So I don't think there's any blessings on this version, if that's what you can call them. Yeah, I mean, on top of those, he's also got 2 slingshots, which I know they're cheap and nasty, but they could be nasty to a Dark Coach. And the Kadim Titan, I don't think I have a lot that can do much against that, because even with my knights on the charge, I know I'm going to be strength 6, but the Titan just laughs at them. So I'm not happy about that either. And also, there's a lot of bodies in core. I haven't got a lot of grinding ability, especially if my ghouls have taken a few catapults to the face. I mean, he should hit you every turn, because he's accurate, isn't he, on those mortars? Exactly. So he's hitting on 4s. He's going to hit you once every turn. Exactly.
That'll just wreck.
Yeah. So Tom and myself listed this one as a red matchup, but unfortunately Tony wasn't able to avoid it for us. That's just the way team events go sometimes. Yeah. You've got to just run with it, really. But looking at the internal artillery, which I know we've spoken about already, I had a little bit of a look in the book pre-battle, and I saw something which gave me hope. And I'll tell you what that is in just a moment. Especially with that version, I believe it's now changed since the version I played. But anyway, let's have a little look at the Warhol deployment, and it is looking beautiful. And I should say that these are not fully rendered Vampire Covenants. Are not fully rendered Infernal Dwarves. They have now got the renders on Warhol, which currently is only available to people who pledged. But we've done videos on that, so I won't go too much into that. But there are now renders available for Infernal Dwarves. This was pre-renders though, so they're not looking quite as beautiful as they now are. But still, we've got the Kadim Incarnates on the left-hand side. We've got Slingshot. We've got the Vassal Levy of the green guys. His Prophet of Lugar on the chariot is up front, which is bad news for me right away. He's got the internal artillery just behind with a Temple Lamassu, I believe, on the winged thing. You've got 2 units of Infernal Warriors, the dwarfy units, the red ones, surrounding the Infernal Artillery. Keep saying infernal. Behind the forest, I believe, is lurking his BSB, but I can't really remember much about him. So we'll see him in a minute. And then you've got the Kadim Titan, which is kind of unmissable. But
is the other slingshot in that forest as well?
Oh, good question.
There's 2, wasn't there?
Yeah, there are 2. We'll have another view up above shortly. So hopefully we'll find out in a minute. As for me, I'm in the corner. I've never cornered before in my life. But man, this was the opportunity to corner. So the thing that I looked at in the ID book, in this version of it, was Infernal Artillery, those 2 mortar things, Titan mortars, they have a range of 36, but they have a movement of 0.
Yeah, can't move at all.
Can't move at all. Now, I don't know for sure, but I think that's changed. I think they can now move. I don't know whether you've got it there or not.
I have, they can move again now. It's only 3, but
sure,
still.
But now they can move. This battle, they couldn't move. And man, did I see that as a huge lifeline, because I am deployed outside of 36 inches. He dropped for first, which was fine by me because I wanted to know where his mortars were. Yeah. And he gave me the opportunity to deploy outside of 36 inches. So I did. So I'm cornering. Refuse flank gives you that extra bit of space as well. And yeah, obviously these are pre-rendered Vampire Covenants as well. So you've got a weird-looking Court of the Damned, but can't be helped.
Yeah, the soap bar.
Exactly, yeah. So I've got the Dark Coach on the left, got unit of zombies ahead of some bats, ahead of some zombies. The ghouls with the Court of the Damned Vampire Courtier in the middle. I've got these 6 vampires on the... actually, I don't know which unit's which. Where's the Courtier? Hard to tell, actually, which one is the hero. There's the mounted character. But yeah, maybe we'll find out later.
He's there somewhere.
Yeah, he's there somewhere. And some bats behind. So yeah, I'm really just hiding out of the range, really. And there is a bird's eye view. Still can't see that at the slingshot, but I can definitely see a wing of a BSB hiding out behind the forest. There we go. So there's the overhead, and there's the slingshot. It is just in the forest, just right at the back there. So yeah, hiding. There is the overview of how it begins. And what's your thoughts on my tactics before we get cracking?
Yeah, I think I think wasting a turn of mortar shooting is very smart because they are nasty.
Yeah,
I guess from this point you could sit there all game, or you could explode out. If you wanted to still contest the objective and go for the breakthrough, you could.
Yes,
you could do that, and he'd still have wasted a turn of shooting.
Yeah,
so
exactly. Yeah,
you've got options at this point, haven't you? And going second is good for vampires and good for the objective. So
yeah,
I think that's. I assume he dropped for first.
He did. He did.
Yeah, okay.
I was delighted when I saw those mortars not deploy on the deployment line. To be honest.
Yeah.
But obviously, I understand why he didn't, because potentially, if I do go aggro, I can just get into them really quickly if he goes on the line. So his advance in his movement phase is not particularly aggressive, very much possibly fearing the exploding out, which you mentioned. He moved forwards a little bit. The Alchemy Mage moving into range for his magic. The Kadim Incarnates sort of... are they light troops? I think they must be.
Can't remember. I've never really played them.
Yeah, I think in this version they were anyway. So they'd light troops around the rock, which is fine. The Kadim Titan just moves over to that flank. I guess he is... I said that the Vampire Knights versus the Kadim Titan is my best matchup hope. But even so, I don't fancy it. He doesn't know that yet at this point, though. So.
He's not got much of a save, has it? It's just got like a 5-up ward or something.
Yeah. I think... Does it still reduce a strength by 1 of the opponents, though?
I think it's something to do with your armor, actually.
Okay. All right.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Is that a deployment question? Is that a ruin in front of your Vampire Knights?
I believe it is. Yes. And
so
that would be that would be why I've got the unit of Strider ahead of the unit.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, and the Courtier must be in the front unit. That makes sense now. Good question. It makes me figure out where my Courtier is. Cool. His slingshot pops a wound on my Court of the Damned. Magic, I dispel. I'll just skip magic. The reason I've skipped magic is because I dispel Quicksilver Lash on my knights, and Silver Spike fails to wound, which is what Silver Spike tends to do, really.
Yeah.
But yeah, if Silver Spike hits the Court of the Damned and then 2 slingshots hit the Court of the Damned, then I could be in trouble. I have got a 5-up Aegis, but potentially, if all of them hit all at once, my Court of the Damned could go down. It's only got 4 wounds, so...
Sure.
But on this turn, I only take the 1 wound, which is great. This would then show my movement. Can you see?
Going to be exploding out.
not yet, anyway.
Yeah, biding your time.
No. Can you see what I moved? The answer is no, because I didn't really. I moved some zombies forward ever so slightly. That's where my necromancer is, in the front zombies. I moved them forward ever so slightly so that I could raise them up a bit. So there was space behind them. Because I know that realistically I haven't got a lot of offensive magic in range. My necromancer is in range of his chariot guy though. So
yeah,
there is potential for some Evo magic. And that's an overview of how it looks after my movement phase. Like you can see, very little difference. Going into my magic phase, he dispels all of my Evo stuff. So wow. That's hasten the hour and touch the Reaper basically. But it does mean I get a rise off the bubble version, which means I recover my wound on my Court of the Damned, and the zombies begin to grow, which is nice. Not by very much though, I don't think. That second unit didn't grow by much. The first unit did, but I should have made the space for them. So cool. He moves up a bit, and by now I believe the game might be slightly up. He knows I'm probably thinking of cornering because I didn't do anything in my turn 1. So he just creeps forward a bit more. It's still not massively aggressive. Like, there's still long charges as opposed to makeable charges. But at the same time, he doesn't actually want my Vampire Knights to charge him. So,
no.
He's still got to be a little bit careful. He does reform up the Kadim Incarnates on the left-hand side. They're very much flanking or trying to. But as far as I'm concerned, my Dark Coach is zoning that. So I'm really happy with that situation. Just got to keep my eye on that.
Yeah, he's not really not being that aggressive, is he?
No, which I was secretly very happy about. So.
Yeah. So are you at this point, are you thinking that obviously you're not going to go for his objective, but are you going to try and stop him getting into yours, or are you content to just kind of sit there and let him come to you?
It was tricky. It was really tricky. I mean, I had an eye on his scoring units, which were his vassals and his 2 Infernal Warriors. And if I had any way of stopping them getting to my objective, my deployment zone, then I was going to try it. But my game plan going in was lose the objective, don't lose points.
Okay.
That was what I was hoping for. I would have taken a 7-13 loss on a red matchup going into this. Yeah. I really would. I was never planning on going to win the objective. In order to do that, I think I would have needed to smash through with the Knights. And while that is potentially something someone may have been able to engineer, I didn't see a way of doing that without losing both my Knight units. And obviously, if you lose them on the way through, they don't get through to breakthrough anyway. So,
yeah, I guess he put his mage quite centrally, didn't he? So if he put that either on a flank, you might have been able to stack the other flank or something. But because it was in the middle, it's difficult to do that.
Absolutely, yeah. And there's how it looks from that perspective. I love lovely pictures in Warhol. You definitely get a sense of the tabletop sense, don't you? So
it's so much nicer, isn't it, than UB?
Yeah.
We're not paid by Warhol to say that.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. So going into my turn 2, I managed to resist magic and resist shooting as well. This time I didn't even take a wound on the Court of the Damned, which is awesome. But I think unless I've grown it again, I may have grown it again because I have actually gained more zombies by the looks of it. So this might even be after magic. I'm not sure. We'll find out from the next picture. But I now move my courtier into the unit of Vampire Knights behind. I'm now semi-thinking of making that Stalker standard Vampire Knight into a Kamikaze unit. Not sure which direction it'll go yet, but if I can punch through with one unit, then maybe I'll have a chance of thinking about following up with the second one. But I'm not sure yet. So, yeah, the points preservation was very much keep my Vampire Courtier behind. So. And I think that's an overview. That must be pre my magic phase, actually. Yeah, here we go. Oh, yes. So, in fact, I hadn't raised zombies at that point. I've now raised a new unit of zombies in front of my ghouls. Obviously, they are within mortar range because, can't help that. But I'm kind of thinking it's an extra unit of chaff to just disrupt his advance, really. So that was the thinking behind that. I think you can just see between the forest, touch of the Reaper on the Incarnates. I did 1 wound to the Incarnates on the left.
Okay.
And there you go. You can see it a bit more there. 1 wound on them. In his turn 3, he moves the Incarnates round to the flank. He's kind of trying to outflank me, but kind of running out of board space. So at some point, he's going to have to approach that Dark Coach because I'm really not going to get any closer to him and let him charge me. I think I needed a double 6 to charge that. Definitely didn't fancy that. So yeah, there's that. And he moves forward in the middle, really, but it's still not massively aggressive. So
I suppose he knows he's got time, but
yeah, he knows. He kind of still thinks maybe I'm going to explode at some point, and that was exactly the impression I wanted to give.
Yeah,
I know. I'm 90% sure I'm not going to explode, but I'm not going to tell my opponent. Doesn't matter who it is.
sure. I mean, you're gonna have to do it in your next turn, really, aren't you?
Yeah. In order to get all the way
if you're
through.
going to, yeah,
exactly. So, yeah, the game will be up very soon. But I was very much saying, no, I don't fancy this all the way through. So I wasn't hiding it, but you know. No, exactly. And this shows you the 36-inch range on the mortars. Beautiful. Warhol tells you exactly what range things have. You're very useful. Extremely useful for this one, because there was no measuring with a tape measure or getting, you know, all the different units out. Just put on the war machine, and there you go. I'm out of 36 with everything except that Columbia's unit. So, and there's that. This goes into his magic and shooting, actually, and you can see he's done 2 wounds to the core of the dam now. So that was a particularly worrying magic shooting phase for me. Obviously, I know that I can recover them back, especially with Gates of the Neverworld. But providing I can get some of those Arise spells off, that is. What have we got here? Oh, it goes... are we into my magic phase? Oh, that was quick. Did I miss my shooting?
Looks like it.
Did I miss a movement phase of mine? I didn't look like it. So I've still got that zombie unit. Maybe that zombie unit didn't move forward at all. It just sat there.
I would have thought you would push that in his face.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I've definitely got a Hasten the Hour and a Touch of the Reaper on his chariot there. I only did 1 wound though. So this must be my turn 3 in some form. Yeah, and now we're going into his turn 4. Yeah, so I must have had a bit of a blip with the pictures there, but never mind. We can safely say the vampires didn't do a lot in movement turn 3.
Yeah.
I can definitely guarantee that. It doesn't even look like I moved that zombie unit forward. So, but similarly,
I guess
his mortars.
If you move them forward, though, they'll be out of general range, won't they? And then won't be able to march or anything.
Yes, potentially. I mean, maybe I didn't even cast them till my turn 3. Was it that? Maybe that was the start of my turn 3 magic. Anyway, we'll move on because it's not that massively important. So this is his turn 4 movement now, and he's moved the Kadim Incarnates into the forest, and he's very much baiting the charge now. He's given up on giving me a long charge, and he's now given me pretty much an auto charge. Will I take it? It's through a forest. So
forest, yeah.
That's a downer for me. And again, he hasn't moved massively aggressive in the middle. He's still thinking he can get the objective without engaging me, and I don't disagree with that at all. He can get the objective without engaging me. Chances are I won't be able to stop him.
There's some interesting, like there's no counter charge with if you do go into the Incarnates.
Yeah,
it doesn't look like the flyer behind him has a counter charge because it'll be in your front.
Yeah. Unless I blow through them, which is unlikely.
I don't know. I think he's set that up in a way that you could make that charge and
not be countercharged. Yeah,
and same with the bottom. There's no. I would have thought he could put either his flyer or his Titan, push them up quite aggressively out of your Vampire Knights arc.
Yes, yeah. There's not a great arc on those Vampire Knights. I mean, the reason why the Kadim Titan is probably still in the arc is because it's so big. But that flying BSB could definitely be right up in my flank right now. If I would have
done that, and then next turn you'd be in all sorts of trouble, wouldn't you?
Massively. I really would. Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
One thing that even more deters my likelihood of charging into those Kadim Incarnates is he gets a boosted Word of Iron off on them. So I think that gives them a very decent armor save. Is it 5 up goes to 3 up for them?
I think so.
I mean, I'm strength 5 on the Dark Coach, so I would take 2 of it off. I'd take that spell off, but still.
Still 5 up, isn't it?
Exactly. Am I going to charge it?
They've got a ward save as well, I think, haven't they?
Probably.
So it's like 5 up, or something like that.
Exactly. Cool, and this is the effect of the mortars on that zombie unit. I mean, this is a good demonstration of what the mortars can do. I know that they're only res 3, whereas the ghouls would be res 4, so it would be slightly different. But he's taken 15 zombies off there. So, you know, they were always going to get absolutely panged. But that's what they're there for. And they're still there. So they're
still there.
Fine by me. And they're worth 0 points as well. So who cares, right?
Exactly.
Lovely. So, yeah, this is into my turn 4. I do not take the charge with the coach. In fact, I moved backwards and I moved my necromancer into the ghoul unit and just say, come and get my zombies then. I know that in order to maximise, he has to leave a portion of his Qadim incarnates sticking out to the left. So if he charges those zombies, yes, he'll kill a fair few, maybe even enough to threaten crumbling the unit. Maybe. Unlikely, but maybe. But if he doesn't crumble the unit, my Dark Coach can then charge into his incarnates and mess them up. And that's very much what I'm doing. He baited me to charge. He boosted his incarnates. I said no. No, I'm baiting him with zombies, basically.
Sure.
I was a little bit worried that the Qadim incarnates could charge my necromancer, my ghouls. But I don't think there was quite room, and it was a very long charge. So there was that. And yeah, I'm very much sticking outside of 36 inches. I have moved a unit of bats up. They are now in mortar range, but they're just bats. So they are worth points, though. So I was a little bit reluctant, but still.
Has your Court of the Damned BSB got arc on there? If they did come into the zombies, could your Court of the Damned countercharge in the flank or anything like that? Or can it not see them?
I think it would struggle at this point, but maybe.
Yeah, it doesn't look quite.
I think it was something that I kind of did and then realised the threat after movement. So it was too late to counter it, which is the reason why I mention it now. I've kind of like identified a weakness, but it was too late to stop it, basically.
Yeah.
And yeah, that unit of zombies that got smashed by the mortars have moved forward, which they were able to do because the Necro was now in the ghoul unit.
Oh, cool.
They were able to march forward. I rise them back almost to their full power, which is lovely. Mm-hmm. And by full power, I mean really not that much power at all.
No power, yeah.
But they're there, and they're causing a bit of hassle. So I'm kind of like thinking, if I can just block his scoring units from getting to my objective, just make a wall of zombies, then they'll take their time getting there. Maybe I can draw the objective that way, which would be awesome. But of course, he's not having that. He's going to start rinsing the zombies, and he goes for it. He sees the zombies as a way to slingshot forward as well. And this is his turn 5 now. So if he's going to get the objective, he needs to get on with it.
Needs to get a shift on, yeah.
He needs to. He needs to risk my exploding out, which may not happen. So we'll see. We'll see. And it is a flank. I wasn't worried about giving up the flank or anything. There was no tact to that zombie movement. It was literally
they're dead anyway, aren't they? If anything charges them, they're dead. So it doesn't matter.
Exactly. He gets in with both, which is no surprise whatsoever. And he doesn't take the charge with the Qadim Incarnates on the left. Instead, he continues to bait my Dark Coach. And again, the Lamassu is following up behind. And that was happy days for me. I was more than happy for him to charge the zombies, but I'm even happier by this.
Definitely.
I would have been a little bit gutted if after all that playing around, he'd have just said, no, thank you, and turned around and gone home and said, no, that flank is not for me. But this decision I was delighted with because now I am going to charge it.
Yeah, I absolutely would charge now.
Yeah, I'm going to stop Word of Iron going on. I'm going to stop any kind of boosting spells on that. That is my focus for my dispelling. I might even accept losing a few Vampire Knights to some alchemy in order to stop the Qadim Incarnates getting it. And that's my way of evening up the points. So if I do lose the objective, I can at least take out the points of the Incarnates. That's what I'm thinking at this point.
Yeah, and that must be there must be a fair chunk of points.
I think they're about 545, if I remember rightly. But that's a very random number. It could be completely wrong. So he chooses to put Curse of Nezebkesh on these. It means minus 1 weapon skill, offensive skill and defensive skill. Doesn't really bother me. I start weapon skill 5, so I'm only down to 4. It means I'd hit on 4s instead of 3s if I charged any of his infantry units. But not bothered about that. I'm happy for him to use dice on that because it doesn't actually hurt me. So there's that on them. I don't think. I think that's pre-combat, to be honest. I don't think there was much else cast.
I should say.
Yeah, definitely pre-combat. It's not after combat, is it?
No.
This one's after combat. There you go. Didn't actually do that much, I didn't think. That's pre-crumbling. Just let's say.
Okay,
that,
fine. That's what they killed.
They will be dead.
Yes.
Yeah, because I mean, in static combat res alone, that many zombies should die. So yeah.
100%.
But yeah, he just starts tearing into undead bodies, really, and it allows him to reassess his lines. He doesn't need to overrun because he restrained where he needs restrain. They just pop. And yeah, now he is very much in my face, but he does only have 1 turn left, so he does need to advance ever so slightly. No, sorry,
yeah, and he's
that's
not
wrong.
overrun, has he?
No, check that. He is now in my deployment zone, I believe.
Oh, he is. Okay. Oh, because it's diagonal, isn't it? So
Diagonal.
It's big.
I'm fairly sure he is now in my deployment zone, but yeah, is he?
Okay. But that would explain why.
Hold off on that. Maybe he's not quite, but he has got 1 turn left to do it. So yeah, I think I might be getting ahead of myself a little bit, but no, that is the end of his turn 5. Turn 5 for me. I stopped the magic on the incarnates. I'm going for it. Everything is going to go into those incarnates. Come on, Dark Coach. I believe the zombies couldn't see them, so they couldn't add their static combat res, but then also they couldn't add their dying.
To be honest, I don't know if you'd want to put them in, really, because they just crumble your coach out, probably.
Exactly, yeah. So I think they were either not in line of sight or I chose not to, but either way, it's the right call. So I chaffed both his infantry units with my unit of bats that survived. I guess his infernal artillery just didn't hit them. I mean, I guess they've got a hard target, so they just survived. But it wouldn't do a lot of damage to them anyway.
No,
so
it's unlikely to kill them anyway, I think.
Yeah, so they must have just missed, to be fair, which is fine because they were the only unit that the artillery could have shot at. And so I can chaff both his infantry units. It won't stop him charging them and getting into my zone.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that. Unless he's already in my zone, I'm really not sure. I should have had the lines up. I really should have had the lines up at this point.
I think he must be because
I think he is. I mean, if you go diagonal,
if you look at where the table is, it looks like he is.
I think he must be. I think he must be just inside at this point. But I have kind of semi-given up on stopping him at this point. So I would need to break both of those infantry units in order to stop them, I think. And then accept the counter charges in turn 6, if I were to do it now. And I've obviously turned it down now because I've just decided to chaff him.
You're going second, aren't you? So you could do some consequence-free turn 6 charges.
Exactly. And I will.
Yeah.
Spoiler. Yeah. I try to get dice out of him so that I can boost up the Dark Coach. He allows Dead or Rise. Down. Didn't work. Those zombies are really no use to me whatsoever. But hey, they're there.
Oh well.
Yeah. But in combat, Dark Coach rolls a good old juicy 6 for its impact hits.
Nice.
And yeah, just lays into these Kadim incarnates. That is pre-supernal? Are they supernal? I think they are. Well,
yeah, something like that.
They definitely are. Because after the crumble, he's got 1 wound left. Oh, so close. I mean, it will go my way eventually.
Yeah. But there now is a counter charge with the flyer.
There now is a counter charge with the flyer. And crucially, it also stopped me overrunning into the Lamassu. I could have actually, 1 more wound, and I could have actually overran into it. And that would have been a lot of points. I mean, that Lamassu is worth another 300, 400 points, I think.
But your Lamassu's not going to want to go into the Dark Coach by itself, is it? It's not really not a combat thing, is it?
No, it's not. He will be running it away. But yeah, great work from the Dark Coach. Really happy with that.
That's a solid result.
And of course, the Lamassu does indeed run away, basically, which you can totally understand. I don't know. I don't think Deej decided to charge the bats because it gets him a bit closer to the Vampire Knights and the potential turn 6 charge. He's definitely in my deployment zone. Let's mention that because he wouldn't just sit there if he wasn't. I think, in fact, he's actually now got all 3 of his scoring units in my deployment zone.
So this his turn 5?
No, this is 6 now. This is his turn 6.
Turn 6, okay. Fine.
This This is turn 6. So yeah, he's got all, and I know I've lost the objective, but I was always fine with that. The beauty of me getting the Incarnates unit is I've actually reduced the objective, the effect of the objective. So yeah,
you're up on points, aren't you? So
I'm definitely up on points because I've lost nothing at this stage. Literally lost nothing. Even those bats are still alive. The only unit I've lost is the zombies. So
sure.
Cool. And here we go. He gets a silver spike on the Vampire Knights in the front though. So just as it did do 3 wounds actually. 3 wounds. Can it do 3 wounds?
Yeah, I wonder why he did it on them rather than the core.
I think it was because he'd been doing it on the core and it had never wounded the core.
Right.
And the core is res 5, whereas these are res 4. So maybe he went with that. So that he was wounding on 2s instead of 3s. He also puts Curse of Nezubkesh on that unit, the bigger unit, which I'm fine with.
Yeah.
As I was before. Dark Coach smashes up the last Incarnate, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Love that. I think I pivot ever so slightly so that I can attempt to charge the Lamassu, but it's a long way away. So he's probably got the points he's going to. I've also moved the Court of the Damned into the zombies on that side. I think I was preparing for a long drawn out combat with the Incarnates. I don't know when I moved the Court actually. He might have even moved in my turn 5. Maybe.
Yeah, because looking at this, you've got now loads of open space here.
Yeah.
Between your units and his vassals, where he's got no threats whatsoever.
No.
So you could just you could go for those vassals, really, couldn't you?
I could.
I don't know if you've got enough time, but yeah.
No, funny you mention it. Good timing. Yeah. You're good at this battle reporting. I'll get rid of level 6s. We don't need him. This is my turn 6. You've already mentioned there's no pressure on turn 6 charges. It's the bottom of the 6th. Dark Coach charges the Lamassu, and I go for it. My unit of 6 Vampire Knights, which hasn't got Stalker Standard, so they will have to go through the ruins. And they've got the Courtier with them now, so I'm actually 7 wide. And also, I spy a nice little 11-inch charge to flank the vassals with my zombies and Court of the Damned and Necromancer. It's kind of risky because I've lost 0 points so far. But all of a sudden, if that goes wrong and only the zombies get in...
I think you'll still win because they're only vassal levies.
Yes, exactly.
The court alone is gonna win you that combat. Loads of static rares. The Necro's not going to die to vassal levies.
Hopefully not. Yeah, absolutely.
So you shouldn't do to 2 attacks.
Yeah. So
and then you can just roll up his flank.
Exactly.
Hopefully.
That's the plan. It's a last-ditch plan. I'm not going to stop him winning the objective because he's still got 2 other Infernal Warrior units in my objective zone. And they've got Leadership, Discipline 9, BSB nearby. Sure. So there's no chance of them all breaking. They're not Orcs and Goblins after all. There we are. And I make it with the Knights. I don't make it with the Zombies, unfortunately. So that is a shame. Yeah. I also don't make it with the Dark Coach. He'd moved far enough away. So he's done his job, the Dark Coach.
Yeah.
So, yeah, exactly. We'll see how the vampires get on against the vassal levies. Did I get any spells off? I don't think I got a lot to boost them, if anything, actually. There wasn't much point in moving much else. The zombie unit at the back left corner have actually turned around. They're going home now, which I kind of did. Deej was a bit like, "Oh man, you've just cornered. You haven't bothered to play this game." And I was like, "Yeah, sorry, mate, but I was scared of your army. I was going to get smashed up. This is the only way I could get something respectable." And because it was a team event, I was trying to get points for my team. So
and you've taken charges. It's not like you've completely refused to play.
Yeah, and I am up on points with the Incarnates. So there's that.
It's paid off.
And then we go to combat, and I win combat. And not only that, but he fails his not rerollable Discipline 9 down to 8 because of fear.
Because his BSB is on the other side of the board.
BSB is on the other side of the Infernal, and it's only a 12-inch.
Oh dear.
And I get half points for the vassals. I don't run them down though, so I would have got full points if I'd have run them down. But I get half points, despite the fact that I had Swift Stride and he didn't run them down. And I only lost 1 knight to them as well, which is awesome.
Yeah, because they've got spears, haven't they? So
yeah, it could have
hurt.
Yeah. I didn't have many knights in there either because the bats were reducing my frontage. So I think it was only 3 or 4 knights with only probably about 12 attacks total, maybe. But anyway, that's the last picture. That's how it ended up with me chasing down those vassals. He has got the objective because of his Infernal Warriors just inside. I didn't play for the objective, as you know. Yeah, half points on the vassals. I worked out that... actually, let me show you the... What do you reckon the result is? Do you know? I don't think I've told you, have I?
No, you haven't. So he's got objective. You're up on points. So what's objective worth in terms of points? Like 900?
Yeah, I think that's what Sensei Warren says, isn't it?
I don't know if you've got 900, have you?
Probably not quite.
Probably like a 12-8 to him, 11-9 to him.
Well done. Yes, 11-9 to him. I was delighted. Honestly, I was so delighted by this. It was a red matchup. I knew that I was in for trouble if I stuck my head out. And I thought I played it well enough to earn those 9 points. I was going for a 13-7 loss to get 7 points for the team, and I got 9. So I was really happy with that. This is my 3rd vampire battle of the tournament. 2 wins and this loss, but I came out of this not feeling like I'd lost, honestly. So
no.
Really,
and if that
really happy.
If that flank charge had come off,
I could have
potentially
gone a bit further.
Yeah,
I'd have had more chance of running down the vassals anyway. I mean, I don't think, because it was the bottom of the 6th, I don't think I'd have got any more points than that. But I did work out that if I'd run down the vassals, it would have been 10-10.
Right.
It would have been close enough to be 10-10. So, went well on
Very
Swiss
nice.
Ride, but still. Yeah, so there we go.
Played it well.
I was happy. I mean, some people might slate me for being all defensive and cornering up and not giving my opponent an enjoyable game. But sometimes you just got to do it, you know? And, yeah. As it happens, the team didn't do fantastically well in round 4. Tony and Paul both went down 4-16, so that wasn't great. I don't know many details of that, but yeah, they didn't really speak about them a lot because it didn't go very well. However, superstar ringer Josh won 20-0, so that's what he's there for.
As he does.
Yes, exactly.
With Sylvan Elves as well.
I know, yeah, very good with those Sylvans.
How does he do it?
I know. I mean, who plays Sylvan Elves, right?
Yeah, only Muppets.
So the team went down 37-43, which is quite good considering 3 of us lost. You know, but yeah, it means we're still lower mid-table really, and still not. Well, we're kind of in danger of finishing last if we get trounced because the last round isn't capped.
Right.
But fingers crossed we can still finish above last, and that's the aim. So, thank you very much, Matt Champion, for your company. I very much appreciate it. I hope you've enjoyed your first PTG Battle Report.
Yeah, it's been good. Thank you.
Sorry it wasn't a more exciting one for you, but
no. So my 2 favourite armies, probably. So
there you go. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you being here. Thank you very much. So,
cheers, stuff.
We will end it there. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, give us some comments, slate me for being all defensive. Let me know what you think I should or could have done. And I look forward to reading your comments and responding to them. So I'll say cheerio from me, and thank you again to Matt.
Cheers. Bye.
Bye, folks.